Today you're going to be making a foldable on the 7 levels of classification. I'm going to walk you through step by step what you need to do. If at any time you need to pause the video to write down what you need to write down on your foldable, feel free to do that. All right, this is the front of your paper and this is the back of your paper. Notice you've got those 2 lines going down the back. Those will help you here in a second. You've got this upside down triangle and it's got a line going down the middle. You're going to take the edge of your paper and you're going to line it up with that line going down the middle and make a crease, and then you'll do the same thing on this side. You take the edge, fold it over to the middle, and you're going to make a crease. Okay, so now you have the front of your foldable, you have the back of your foldable, and then this would be the inside of your foldable. We're going to start on the front. So the very first thing that you need to write down is the title. So 7 levels of classification, you'll write that across the top on the front. Next, on this side, you'll write the word level right on the top of that upside down pyramid. And then on the other side, on the top of the upside down pyramid, you're going to write the words mnemonic device. Right, next, your word broad and specific, you're going to draw a long arrow pointing from broad to specific. Next, in the spot for your EQ, you're going to write down your EQ for this foldable. How do scientists classify living things? Okay, the next thing you're going to do is on this side that says level, you're going to write these words in that order. It is very important that you do it in the order that it's in. You have to memorize them in the correct order. So kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. So write those words going down through there. These are the levels of classification. On the other side, you're going to come up with a mnemonic device. A mnemonic device, you're using the letters that start with the words you want to remember. So you're wanting to remember kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, and species. So you're going to come up with a saying to help you remember that order. There's an example down here at the bottom. King Philip came over for good spaghetti. So the K from kingdom, the P from phylum, the C from class, the O from order, the F from family, the G from genus, and the S from species. Your mnemonic device, you need to come up with. One year I had a student that came up with one that says, kids play constantly on Fortnite getting skins. That was how they remembered the order, kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. So you need to come up with your own that's going to help you remember it, and you're going to write it in that space. All right, so now you should be finished with the front of your foldable. So your foldable should have your title, your definition for taxonomy and classification. You should have your arrow going from broad to specific. You should have your levels of classification. You should have your mnemonic device, and you should have your EQ. So that's the front. Okay, now that you're finished with the front, we're going to move to the inside of your foldable. All right, so this is the inside. The first thing that you need to do is to fill in that pyramid. So the same thing that you had on the outside of your pyramid. So your kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species, and your mnemonic device, you need to also write that on the inside on that triangle too. All right, next, you're going to fill in each of these boxes. We're going to start with the first box, that's kingdom. That's that spot right there. So the next slide that comes up, those are the things that you need to write in this box, just the kingdom box. Okay, you need to write that the kingdom is the broadest group. That means it's the biggest, the widest. So most of the organisms, and we'll talk about the different kingdoms later on in the week, but the broadest group would be kingdom. So everything that fit into that group would be in the kingdom. For example, down here at the bottom, you've got grizzly bear, black bear, giant panda, red fox, squirrel, coral snake, and sea star. All of those are animals. All of those are in the animal kingdom. The kingdom is also where they place them in there. The scientists place the organisms in kingdoms based on their ability to make food and the number of cells they have. So are they an autotroph or a heterotroph? And are they a unicellular organism? That means they only have one cell. Or are they a multicellular organism? They're made up of many cells. There are 5 kingdoms that we're going to talk about: plants, animals, protists, fungi, and monerids. All right, the next one, number 2. Your number 2 does not have the word phylum written down. So the first thing you need to do is write phylum on that line. The next slide is going to have the things that you need to write inside that box. So don't forget to write beside number 2, write phylum. All right, so for our phylum, this is our next level of classification. Plants are divided into groups called vascular and non-vascular. Animals are divided into 35 different phyla, and the 2 main groups that they're divided into are vertebrates and invertebrates. If you notice the example down here at the bottom, the phyla, this one is phylum Chordata. So we still have the grizzly bear, the black bear, the giant panda, the red fox, the squirrel, and the snake. The sea star does not go in Chordata phylum because it doesn't have a backbone. Chordata phyla only have backbones. All right, the next one, you'll have number 3. On the line for number 3, you need to write class. On the line for number 4, write order. And on the line for 5, write family. The next slide is going to tell you what to write in that space underneath the 3, 4, 5. So for class, order, and family, what you need to know is that each level becomes more specific with fewer organisms, and those organisms are going to have more in common with each other. So if we look at the class Mammalia, that means we've got the grizzly bear, the black bear, the giant panda, the red fox, and the squirrel. The snake is not a mammal, so it's not in the class Mammalia. So notice we're getting fewer animals as we go down this pyramid. The next one is order. So we've got, this is the order Carnivora. So those are carnivores. So we've got the grizzly bear, the black bear, the giant panda, and the red fox. All of those are carnivores. And then when we get down to family, it's family Ursidae. That's bears. So we've got the grizzly bear, the black bear, and the giant panda. All those are bears, so they're still in the same family. All right, next you're going to the other side for number 6. On that number 6 line, you need to write the word genus. And the next slide is going to show you what you need to write in that box. So for the genus box, the organisms are closely related at this level. The genus is the first word of the scientific name. And a little bit later on, you're going to write down what a scientific name is and the rules for it. So if you look at our example over here, we had gone down to family Ursidae. So beneath that is the genus. And now all that's left is just the grizzly bear and the black bear. The panda bear is not in the same genus as the grizzly bear and the black bear. So the grizzly bear and the black bear are closely related to each other, closer related than they are related to a panda. All right, this box on number 7, you need to write the word species on that line. And your next slide is going to show you what to write in that box. Organisms are all the same type and have the ability to breed and produce young offspring of the same kind. The species is the second word in the scientific name. So, if you're the same species, that means that you are able to make more of your own kind. So humans, we're the same species, so we can make more humans. In this example, the grizzly bear can make more grizzly bears with other grizzly bears. Okay, so now we're going to move on to that last box on the inside, scientific name. So the next, all right, so in the scientific name box, we're writing this. It's the universal name for an organism made up of genus and species level. So the genus, in this example here, your cat, Felis is its genus, Catus is its species. So its scientific name comes from those two names. So its scientific name for a cat is Felis catus. It's always written in italics, so that's the sideways slanted. And the first word, the genus, is capitalized. The second word, the species, is lowercase. So other examples. A wolf, scientific name is Canis lupus. A loblolly pine is just a kind of pine tree, Pinus tatae. Okay, so now you are finished with the inside and the outside of your. So now the outside of your foldable looks like this, and the inside of your foldable is all filled in on the inside. So now the part here that tells you where to glue, you're going to glue this in your notebook. So this is going to go on page 8 in your notebook. So you're going to put glue on just this, and you're going to glue it in your notebook. I am going to be checking this. This is going to be a grade. So make sure you filled it all in. All right, the next page in your notebook, past page 8, it's going to be page 9. You're going to do the following. At the top of your page, you're going to write the 5 kingdoms. You're going to trace the outline of your hand. And the next slides are going to show you what you're going to draw. So you should have traced your hand. So you've got the outline of your hand, showing your 5 fingers, and you've got the 5 kingdoms. On each of the fingers, I need you to write the names of these kingdoms. So on the thumb, you're going to write plants. On your first finger, you'll write minerans, animals, fungi, and protists. You're going to write the characteristics for these around the outside. So on animals, you're going to write that it's the largest group, that they're multicellular, they're heterotrophs, and they're eukaryotes. I know those vocabulary words we haven't talked about yet, but we will next time I see you. So for now, just write them down. Okay, your plants, the second largest group, they're multicellular, they're autotrophs, and they're eukaryotes. Your fungi are heterotrophs, multicellular, and eukaryotes. Minerans are bacteria, they're single-celled, and they're prokaryotes. Your protists are your smallest group, they're single-celled, and they're eukaryotes. So this is what your page 9 should look like. I'm also going to be checking that.